bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that a series of heartbreaking and stressful events will take place when Poppy is officially kicked out of Bill's mansion, marking the collapse of the emotional relationship that both of them once shared. Although Bill still loves Poppy, the recent pressures and conflicts have pushed the relationship to the point of no return. Bill has had to endure constant troubles from Poppy and Luna, constant arguments, distrust, and complicated troubles that have left Bill tired and exhausted. Poppy, with her intense love for Bill, has tried to hold on to the relationship, but Bill's patience has run out. Although he still loves Poppy, he realizes that this constant tension cannot last, and ending the relationship is necessary to protect himself. However, it is not easy to end a love. Poppy has tried to convince Bill many times to beg him not to leave her. She believed that their love still had a chance to be saved, that the difficulties were only temporary. But in Bill's eyes, the troubles that Poppy and Luna brought were too great. Not wanting to continue to be involved in negative emotions and pressures from his personal life, Bill resolutely ended this relationship, closing the final door to Poppy. Being kicked out of the mansion was not only an emotional shock, but also a complete collapse in Poppy's life. The mental pressure that had been weighing on her for a long time, especially when she discovered that her daughter was a murderer. That truth had left Poppy drowning in guilt, fear, and loss. The end of the relationship with Bill only added to this pain, turning Poppy's life into a series of dark days with no way out. In a short time, she became a victim of her own pain. Her pleas for Bill to come back only fell on deaf ears. The feeling of helplessness and despair only made her sink deeper into the spiral of depression. When she could not face this painful reality, Poppy turned to a dangerous path: drugs. Drugs became her only escape. At first, it was just a way for her to escape the painful emotions and temporarily forget the endless sadness. But gradually, Poppy was drawn into a spiral of self-destruction. She began to lose control of herself, sinking deeper into addiction, a completely different person from the proud and strong woman she used to be. When Poppy's life fell into a dead end, she began to wander, aimlessly living without a goal. From a woman who once had all the love, power, and wealth, Poppy was now just a pale shadow, abandoned in loneliness. She wandered the empty streets, with nowhere to go and no one to rely on. In a tragic moment, Poppy turned to drugs to forget her sadness, but Poppy suffered an overdose. This scene showed an unimaginable collapse, from a person who used to live in luxury to now falling into the depths of poverty and despair. When Bill accidentally saw Poppy in a state of drug overdose, he could not help but feel heartbroken. Although he had decided to leave Poppy to protect himself, deep down inside his heart, his love for her was still there. Seeing the woman he once loved sinking into self-destruction, Bill could not keep his cool. Bill's inner turmoil became more evident than ever. On one hand, he knew he could not go back to Poppy, but on the other hand, he could not ignore her in this state. As Poppy struggled with drug overdose, the surrounding crowd could only stand and watch as if they were used to this scene and could no longer feel anything but helplessness. Poppy, once a strong and powerful woman, was now a weak and desperate figure. No one in the crowd could understand the story behind the pain she was enduring, only seeing a person sinking into a spiral of self-destruction. When Bill suddenly appeared, he could not believe his eyes. The woman he once loved, the one who shared beautiful and affectionate moments with him, was now rolling on the ground in excruciating pain. Unable to bear the sight any longer, Bill rushed to hug Poppy and rushed her to the hospital, hoping to save her. He felt her every weak breath, every sob, and her inner turmoil, but it seemed that all his efforts were too late. At the hospital, the doctor's efforts were in vain. Poppy had gone into cardiac arrest, while Bill was still holding her in his arms, and the doctor's announcement only confirmed what he never wanted to believe. Poppy had died of a drug overdose. This moment stabbed Bill straight in the heart, causing him to fall into an indescribable state of grief. He never thought that Poppy's life would end in such a tragedy. Memories of her flooded back, but now they were only regret and indelible pain. Why did Poppy choose this path? The question kept repeating in Bill's mind, but he could not find an answer. Perhaps it was a combination of life's pressures, guilt, and despair that pushed Poppy to such a cruel decision against herself. Drugs were her last resort to escape reality, but they also took her life. Bill blamed himself for not recognizing the signs sooner, for not being there for her when she needed him most. Poppy's death not only caused Bill pain, but also left Luna facing terrible consequences. Luna had been the source of many troubles in the family, and she was even the direct cause of Poppy's breakdown. Poppy, with the heart of a mother, may have blamed herself for not being able to guide Luna on the right path, allowing her to become a villain and a murderer. Perhaps in her final moments of life, Poppy realized that she had also contributed to the person Luna had become. This may have caused her to sink deeper into guilt and despair, pushing her to use drugs to forget everything. Poppy's death was the final consequence of a series of family tragedies, and it will haunt Luna forever. One day, Luna will have to face the truth that she is also the cause of her mother's situation. Luna, despite her selfish actions and many sins, will not be able to avoid feeling guilty after her mother's death. Poppy's tragic death will force Luna to face herself, to face the wrong choices she has made. Can Poppy's death be the shock that wakes Luna up, helping her realize the consequences of her past actions? Regret and inner torment will weigh heavily on Luna, and she will not be able to hide forever. Her mother's death is the most painful lesson, and perhaps it is the turning point in Luna's life that forces her to change and face her responsibilities. Poppy's death in The Bold and the Beautiful is not only a tragic event, but also a profound reminder of the consequences of mistakes, the inability to handle emotions, and the price of avoiding reality. The relationship between Poppy, Bill, and Luna has created a spiral of pain and tragedy, and though it's too late, those left behind will have to learn to live with the consequences.